Chapter 32. Sergeant Jenkins and Ben arrived at the administrative building parking lot about the same time. Ben remained sitting behind the steering wheel of his car. Jenkins came over and opened his door. "Come on, Ben," said Jenkins. "I know this is hard, but we have to get this over with. Besides, I've got an all-nighter ahead of me. The press is going to be all over us on this one." Ben got out of the car, and the two made their way silently up the stairs to the administration building and entered Father Spencer's office. Father was listening to his radio. A news bulletin was describing the sketchy details of the Beaupre massacre, as it was now being called. Father Spencer motioned for them to sit in the two chairs in front of his desk. He turned off the radio as he turned to them. "Where's Bob?" he asked. "I hope he's all right." "That's why we're here," began Detective Sergeant Jenkins. "This is very hard for us," he continued. "Bob is dead, Father. He couldn't get across the courts to safety. He had no time like any of the victims. The shooting happened so fast, and it looks like we're going to have over 25 dead or more. Many of the others will arrive at the hospital in critical condition. The fatal count may even be more than that." Father Spencer sat in his chair in disbelief while Jenkins rambled on. Father only heard half of what he was saying. His greatest fear had come to pass. Only Bob was more than just hurt, he was gone. Why, he thought to himself, what good could possibly come to that? Taking an innocent life so young. His many decades of spiritual training and growth still did not make this any easier to understand or accept. "I hope he didn't suffer," stated Father. "He deserved better than that." "Well, he did suffer, but it couldn't have been very long, Uncle," said Ben. "It was over in less than a minute. I barely got out of my car when I heard the shots, and the murderers were speeding off. I was kind of half dozing, listening to the White Sox game when the first shots rang out. It happened so fast, even the police didn't think I knew what had saved anyone. They might have heard a shot or two and got a couple of shots at the assailants, maybe. These thugs had automatic weapons. They knew what they had to do and wanted to do." "Father, do you have a number for Bob's family?" asked Jenkins. "Would you like me to call for them?" "No, I'll take care of it," said Father. "I'm the one who got Bob involved in the first place. It's my fault." "Father, let me say this to you right now," stated Jenkins in a firm voice. "This is no one's fault but Motown Matthews. This is not your fault, my fault, or Ben's fault. You need to understand that and accept it right now. If God couldn't stop it, how do you think we could have? We at Metro try every day to stop it. It seems like all we end up doing is cleaning up the wreckage and putting out crime scene tape. We don't seem to be able to make even a dent in all the dysfunction this society can create. I'm not a very religious person, Father, but it may be that the second coming is going to have to fix this. It's just too bad that Bob was another casualty of this stupid street war." "I know, Sergeant," said Father Spencer. "It's just so difficult when all the good we try to do is repaid with evil. This is all so senseless." "Father, until we get judges to put all the Motown Matthews away for good, it will never end," added Jenkins. "He never should have been on the street now. I will personally take care of him this time, myself. He is not going to get away with this, I can assure you." Father reached into his middle desk drawer and pulled out an address book and began leafing through the pages. He stopped at the L's and kept his finger on Bob Lawler's home number in Connecticut. "Father, unless you need me for anything else, I need to get down to the station," said Jenkins as he rose from his chair. Ben didn't move. "No, go ahead," said Father. "I would like to come down to the station tomorrow. Can you help me make arrangements for the body? I would think that the family would want the body back in Connecticut for burial as soon as possible." "No problem," said Jenkins. "I'll be there for at least the next 24 hours. I'll get you through the red tape." Jenkins left and went down to the station. He went through the booking area where he saw 6 black men going through the process. He called to the desk sergeant. "Riccio, fill me in," stated Jenkins. "Are these guys part of the Beaupre shooting?" "Yes, Sarge, they are." The officers cornered them down in the blocks down at Lexington. The 2 others are being chased in a vacant lot in warehouses right now. May take some time, but our SWAT team is on the way. They should have them out one way or another by midnight. "Put out an APB on Motown Matthews," said Jenkins, sternly, and anger filling his face and voice. "I want him in this office by daybreak. I want every available officer on it now." "You've got it," answered Riccio as he broke out of the office. He knew a priority when he heard one. Captain Moss entered the office. "What a mess," Jenkins stated. "Moss, fill me in." Jenkins could have cared less about what Captain Moss thought. He knew all he was worried about his precious career and how this could hurt his chances he might have of being commissioner if it wasn't solved in a hurry. Moss was never the type to dirty his hands with the nasty side of police work. But he was always around for a photo opportunity and an interview. They both had come through the academy together. Moss just knew which rear ends to kiss all the way up. That was not Jenkins' style. He filled a superior officer in anyhow. This was not the time to be picking a fight or being sarcastic. Jenkins had much bigger fish to fry. What a night this was going to be. Jenkins found out which interrogation room the alleged perpetrators were in. He entered room 2A and went to the back of the room, and he leaned up against the wall with his arms folded across his chest. A public defender was already seated to the table next to one of the shooters, a toothpick hanging out of his mouth. "Excuse me," said Jenkins. "I hate to interrupt. Mr. Robinson, is it?" And Jenkins looked at the top of the file. "Take that toothpick out of your mouth while you're in this building." "Don't be rousting my client," said the attorney. "He may not decide to cooperate." "Well, that would be most unfortunate for him, wouldn't it?" announced Jenkins, moving up and leaning on the table with both hands in the attorney's face. "He can remove it now and be most cooperative, or I'll have it surgically removed after he's been in lockup for a while. I don't care which it is. I've got over 25 people dead as a result of your client here, and I would advise you to not make me 1 ounce madder than I am at this point. I'm not interested in any of your legal garbage either." Robinson sized up the situation rather quickly and told him to take the toothpick and put it in his pocket and to sit up in his chair. "No problem, Sarge," said Robinson. "It's cool." Jenkins moved to back off the table and leaned up the wall again. Officer Miller resumed his questioning. There would be no more interruptions.